All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our March team call. This is so fun. Yay for 2018 being such a great year so far. All right. I hope you guys are doing well. There'll probably be some more people pop on here in a minute. I did want to go over a couple things. So the theme for this month, well, a couple things, but belief is a theme, and so is growth. So we are working super hard. For those of you who are in the March Momentum group, I'm so proud of you. For those of you who are dabbling, who are new, welcome. We're so happy you're here. And we want everyone to help, everyone to be supported and helped in every way possible. So these team calls are great. They're our big team calls. So it's going to kind of be a plethora of topics and pieces of information. But we also wanted to talk tonight about some best practices and some very practical things to do. So I'm just going to go over a couple things while people are popping on, a couple things to remember. So convention is happening in June, and you do not want to miss that. So be sure that you're registered, and if you're not, be sure to get on the waiting list.
Right.
You want to say something?
No, the only thing I was going to say is that live events, I think since the beginning for us, we've made live events a priority, and I think it's made all the difference in the world. I missed my first live event this last week for the Opportunity event that was here in Illinois because of some child care mishaps that was supposed to happen and didn't happen. So parent first. So I stayed home, but it was the first live event that I have ever missed since we've begun. And I think it's been made a huge difference in our business and our attitude and our belief, just to continue to go to the live events. So if there's any way at all you can make the live events, especially with the convention coming up, absolutely make that a priority.
Yes. And I know Angie, there's a Tennessee opportunity event still. There's still a lot of opportunity tours going on throughout the country. And then I know Lisa Winters is hosting the main one. So yay. They're going to be so fun. And definitely bring guests. I felt like ours happened so fast. We didn't have a lot of prep time, but if I can just encourage you guys, bring guests. You want to bring guests, you will be recognized up in front for bringing guests, and you'll get 3 promo codes. And anyone that brings at least one guest gets into a drawing for a promo code. And they're really cool. They're like these little postcard things that you get. So you definitely want to get those so that, you can grow your team. And every guest you bring gets a 7-day challenge package of Slim. So those are super fun. So definitely go to those. Any of your ambassadors that are not local, encourage them to plug into one of those. So if you do have new ambassadors on this team call tonight, definitely put them in the comments. I like that Jerianna welcomed Miranda to her first team call. So that's so fun. Welcome. And welcome to everyone else that's new that's on. So yeah, feel free to, feel free to welcome your people there. All right. So another thing we wanted to go over was the Canada launch it's the 21st, I believe. So make sure that you go and register for that and plan to watch that live, because Plexus is starting to expand. Yep. And we want to also keep our feelers out and just be mindful. Some of you may have friends or family or people you know in Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. And that's where big team growth is going to start to happen. And so just keep that in mind. That also leads me into the incentives. I just wanted to remind you guys, for March 1st through 31st, we're going to have anyone in our levels 1 through 6 who adds Canadian, New Zealand, and Australian ambassadors. Anyone who recruits the most, adds the most international ambassadors to their team, gets to be put in the drawing for $100. And you can also double dip. Go ahead to Team Plexus Provision, because Jessica has a similar one for Canadian ambassadors. So, and hers is more money. So anyways, go check that out. And also, there's also a March 1 through 15 kind of front loading incentive on our team, which is super fun. I don't have my cuff on, it's over there, but it's a really cute leather cuff, and you can get your word for the year or any intention that you want to set or affirmation on that little cuff. And so, we're pushing buttons here. Anyways, anyone that adds 2 ambassadors from March 1st through the 15th. So you still have a week to do that. If you don't want a little bracelet cuff, then you can get $25 towards Plexus swag.
What were the dates on this one again?
The international ambassador incentive, that lasts the whole month. This other incentive lasts the first half of the month, and be excited because there's going to be something else roll out on the last half of the month. So, okay, that leads me into another aspect that I'm going to talk about, which is when you add those ambassadors, you want to make sure they have the two things. They have their welcome pack and their subscription order on. And I just want to repeat that because some new ambassadors might be on the call tonight that maybe haven't signed any new ambassadors up yet or anything. And those are two things I always make sure that my new ambassadors know about. So if they're going to, I qualify them. So if they're willing to give Plexus 3 months or more, then I'll say, hey, you should just do the wholesale pricing. It costs $34.95, but you need to have two things. You need to have your welcome pack, that's your discounted products, and then your subscription, and that just makes sure your products come in a timely manner the next couple of months. So as long as they're willing to commit to that, they can be an ambassador. If they're not willing, then they should be a preferred customer. So don't be afraid to pre-qualify your ambassadors. Also for that incentive, I forgot to mention this, don't forget to be commission qualified yourself by the 15th. So that means you either have a triplex customer that orders 100 PV or you have your own order process on or before the 15th. Okay, anything you wanted to say? Okay, the other thing before I introduce some new person, not new person, but one of the gals that's going to chat is our Super Silver incentive that corporate just put out. So who is that for? You definitely want to be going through your team and finding out who can qualify. So basically any person, whether you're brand new and you're not even silver yet, or you are already a silver ambassador, maybe you have 3 ambassadors on your team, or maybe someone on your team that always sits at like 30 points, any of those people can qualify for this. So basically what you have to do is get to 50 points. And they're going to count new ambassadors with welcome packs as mock points, kind of like when you fast start gold. They're not really points, but they're going to count those towards points when you hit that in between ranks. So silver, super silver, and then gold. So the super silver is celebrating that midpoint. And that's a big jump from silver to gold. So I just want to encourage you guys, go check your people and make a list of the people that you have that can qualify for that. And then talk to them, do a little coaching call with them, encourage them that they can do that. There's no reason why not. They have people in their network that can totally benefit from Plexus products, and they probably have people in their network. I guarantee they have people in their network that want to work from home. They want to work a side hustle. I mean, every single person on the face of the planet, I would say, can benefit from an extra income stream. So you need 3 personally sponsored ambassadors, and then the other people, so you basically need 10 people, with their orders processing this month. Those can come from your people's people, but you at least need 3 of your own. And then you get, is it 75? I think. You get an incentive.
It should be an email.
Yeah, you can check your email for the amount you're going to get, but every person that of your level 1s that goes super silver, you as a developer of those people get $75, and there's no limit on that. So just FYI, go on the team page and refresh your memory about the super silver thing and help your people do that, because it's the 8th of the month already. So we're about the 3rd of the way through the month. So we definitely want to be capitalizing on that, encouraging people, having those conversations now to front load the month. And I am going to show you this little thing I have on my wall really quick. I almost forgot about it. I just made that. Do any of you others have that? My goal is to help 20 more people with Plexus this month and next month. So if you have not watched that How to Recruit 20 in 30 Days video, that's awesome. If you're not doing March Momentum, you should be. I'm going to be sharing my goal. And so you guys can, I'm a very visual person, so that's actually Wendy Lawson's idea. So if Wendy's on here, there's nothing new under the sun. Yes, Wendy's on here. Thank you, Wendy, for that idea. That's how she earned Leaders Retreat her first year. She made it visual. She had, 10 or 12 people that she needed to add to her team so she could earn that trip. And she made a plan like I have on my wall, and she did it. So anyways, just sharing that funny little idea because maybe it'll help someone be just visualize their goal. So that's mine. I'm actually going to share really quick. One of the things I wanted to cover was belief. And belief is essential whether you are a brand new ambassador or you've been an ambassador for 10 years, because this year is Plexus's 10th anniversary. So belief is, I think, one of the biggest things that we need in order to be successful with Plexus. With the products, yes, and with the business. I believe it's both things. I did want to share my early mindset struggle because I was thinking that might help someone else that's brand new, who's maybe thinking about these things, or it may help you as you're chatting with brand new ambassadors. I started the products in February of 2015, so Valentine's Day. I quit 2 weeks in, then started back up. And I started to share at the end of March. So I was about 6 weeks into my journey. I started to share. I had been silently watching videos and listening I was building my belief. Although I didn't know I was doing that. I was just learning and I was researching. And I started to wrestle with fear because I thought, okay, I knew these products could help a lot of people. But I started to wrestle with a lot of fear because I was afraid that people would think I was trying to sell them something. Like that was, for whatever reason, kind of almost an irrational fear. Because I wanted people to know that I wasn't after their money. Like I literally wanted to help people because the products were helping me. And so I had to come to a point in my journey where I was like, okay, well, I'm either sharing these products and I'm going to refer the people that I chat to my friend Shoshana, or I'm going to share the products and I'm going to get compensated myself. And then I started to think about the ridiculousness of, okay, well, if I believe in these products so much that I'm going to tell other people, why would I send them to someone else? Like, why would it not be okay for me to have a business? I mean, there's nothing wrong with business. That's how the world runs, right? And so that kind of started, that was kind of the catalyst for me in light of why I started to share and why I started to share boldly and passionately. And a lot of people popped in with me in those first 4 months. I reached out to a lot of people, kind of like those girls that did that fast start video. They're encouraging people when they start. Like even if you're not really sure if you're starting a business, go reach out to a large amount of people. They said 40. That's a good place to start. And really, when you're starting something like this, you can easily get a list of 20 to 40 to 50 people pretty fast and just kind of get the word out and share what you're doing. So it also is that shift for me of thinking like a CEO, starting to think like, okay, I own a business. This business I bought is a web-based business for $34.95. Okay, Sarah Taylor said a funny story at our opportunity event about how her neighbor finally, after months of deliberation, said, okay, I'm ready to do Plexus now. And so she's like, can you guys just come over to my house? And so she and Gavin went over to this lady's house and she's like, okay. She's like, I'm going to write you my check. And she wrote it for $3,495 because that's how much she thought it was going to cost to start this network marketing business. And Sarah's like, oh my word, no, it's only $34.95. And so I love that she shares that story because it does. To think that you can start a business for that amount of money, like you can even start a normal brick and mortar business for $3,495. Like businesses cost a lot to get off the ground, and you're going to see more network marketing businesses pop up because more that's the trend of business in this time period that we're in. You want to say something?
I was just going to say, just do the math. $34.95 to start a business. If you make $70, you have 100% return on your investment. Like there's no. I mean, there's no business opportunity on the planet that will allow you that unless you go into, maybe politics on the federal level, maybe something like that. But I mean, this is legal and the return on your investment is high. I mean, it's $34.95. It's pretty incredible. It's the best, in my opinion, it's the best opportunity out there. So.
I agree. And I guess something I gleaned from that opportunity event the other night was I know these things. We all know these things, but it's almost like it solidifies it, or you see another wrinkle or a facet like, oh my word, yeah. Is we don't have to buy inventory. I know we always say that we don't have to buy inventory, we don't have to host parties, but like I'm seeing friends of mine join companies where they have to buy inventory or they have to host parties. And at some point you kind of run out of people to host a party for you. You know what I mean? So like with Plexus, all we have to do is tell people about it and then train our teams. But I mean, like what an awesome thing. And you can choose the people that are in your organization. Like I was hearing people like just when I was with family last weekend talk about like the people they work with or the situations, like just the humanity, this kind of negative side of humanity they're always around. I'm like, goodness gracious, I'm thankful for Plexus because we get to be with all of you people that are awesome, that are really hooked on success and positivity and really being a light in the world. I mean, those are and filled with hope, really bringing people something that's valuable to others. So I just wanted to say, like, we have the best of the best, you guys. So anyways, I also wanted to share belief in light of people that are working this business and who may, maybe, you know, you've been a wholesaler for a long time, or maybe you don't really see this opportunity for you, or maybe you have people on your team like that. I wanted to introduce a friend of mine who was actually a wholesaler for a year. And she started to dabble last summer. She can tell you more of her story specifically, but I remember she messaged last summer and I was like, oh man, you know, is she going to do it or not? You know, what's going on? Because she just had a lot of questions. She's like, I'm reaching out to all these people and this is what I'm getting for feedback. Oh my word. And maybe a relatively small social media circle because she wasn't super active on that. She was busy doing her gardening and homesteading type stuff. But anyways, I wanted to welcome Molly to the team call, and she's going to actually share with us all because her team is absolutely blowing up. In 2018, they have had phenomenal growth on their team for a gold team. She is barreling towards senior gold and ruby very fast. And so Molly is a crunchy homesteader, mama of soon to be 11 children. And so Molly, I'm just going to turn it over to you and you can share your story, your team stats, and all that good stuff.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on. First of all, nothing that I say or do is you know of me. It's all the Lord. And do you mind if we pray real quickly? Okay. Lord, we thank you for this night. And tonight I come to you specifically and thank you for Megan and Justin and their courage and their love in sharing these products with us. I thank you, Lord, for the abundant life you have for all of us. And I thank you for the opportunity to have the health and wellness that I can embrace that and enjoy it and share that blessing with others. Lord, we also thank you tonight for the times of trial and the challenges and the hurdles that we face every day, because we know those are the times, Lord, that you refine us, you strengthen us, and you equip us for the tasks that you have for us. So, Lord, in all that we do, we just pray that you would be glorified. Amen. So, I'm Molly Schultz, and I live in Northwest Tennessee. I was a closet ambassador, just enjoying wholesale pricing for the products for my husband and myself for over a year, from March to about June, so a little bit over a year. I would watch Megan's posts about the business and I would be intrigued, and I would think about it. I really would think about it every single day of my life. I don't know why I didn't do anything about it. I did battle a lot of fears. I'm a very insecure person. I don't take criticism well. I'm a people pleaser. I don't like to hear no. So all of those fears kind of kept me from sharing. And also I was very busy. You know, I'm involved in a lot of things. So after convention in 2016, or maybe it was 2017, when they introduced the new pink drink, I was so excited I lost sleep over it. I wasn't even selling these products, but I lost sleep because I was so excited. The drink had been amazing for me, the new pink drink, and for Jeremy. So that really lit my fire. And then also around that same time, I was just talking with a friend who was suffering with rheumatoid arthritis. And I thought, you know, how selfish of me to think I don't have the time to share this blessing with her or to educate her or to share these products with her. So I gave her a month of Triplex and was thrilled to see that she liked it and all of that. And so that was kind of how I started this journey of sharing. I was really kind of in my life, kind of at a stagnant point. Some of you might find that hard to believe, but I felt like, 8 years ago, we had moved to Tennessee. I'd done the whole homesteading thing. I was kind of in my groove with that. I had the kids down. That was kind of in my groove with that. Homeschooling was kind of old hat. I grew up homeschooled. That was kind of just, I was in my groove. So I was really feeling stagnant in my personal life. So the personal growth that Plexus has afforded me in self-reflection, in overcoming fears, in sharing, in investing in other people's lives, that's been the most unexpected, huge blessing for me. So I started sharing, I think in June, right after the convention when the pink drink was introduced. I went silver in June, and then in July and August, I added 3 people to my team. So that was kind of my small goal, to add 3 people a month. In September and October, there was like nothing happening. I was sharing probably with 40 people a week, reaching out and overcoming personal fears, growing a lot because I would do these challenges and have to do the Facebook Lives and reaching out to people and all of this. So that was really good for me personally. But so I was doing the things, but I wasn't seeing a lot of growth at all. So I think a big turning point for me in November and December was my belief. And I don't know exactly what changed that, but I could tell in my conversations with others, and I could tell in my voice, I could tell in my reach outs. I was confident. I was genuinely excited. I genuinely believed that these products could help almost everyone. I really believed in the financial opportunity and sharing the business with them. So up until that point, I'd been faking it, fake it till you make it. And, I knew you had to project belief. Obviously, I wasn't doing very well as I thought, according to my numbers for growing. But so my team right now has about 75 active ambassadors on it, and 57 of those were added in January, February, and March. So it's been huge since the new year. But that didn't just happen overnight, and it didn't happen by chance. It happened because of all those seeds I was planting in September, October, and November, doing all of those reach outs. My team has about 15 people on it that are actively sharing on Facebook and reaching out and building their teams. So that's super exciting. And we just serve, I consider them, because we're all so new, or they're also new, I consider them more my sidelines more than my downlines. So we help each other and encourage one another and inspire one another. I try to lead by example. So there's a couple points that have been, I think, important in this quick growth. And I was brainstorming with Jeremy today. So some reasons why we're so successful is I have a cheerleader and a person to bounce ideas off of. So that would be Jeremy. Every day I'm asking him, so-and-so said this, and what should I say, and should I suggest this, and what should I post, and all of that. And he has printed me out a convention goal list to keep track of my points. And he's always like, how many reach outs did you do? How many people are you, what's your goal for the month? And keeping me on track. I'm not a big goal setter. He is, and he forces me to come out of my comfort zone and do that, and holds me accountable to do that. So I think having somebody in your life, doesn't have to be your husband, it can be a sideline or an upline or whatever, to cheerlead for you and to hold you accountable is huge. And then, my confidence and my belief in the products kind of did a 360. I always loved the products for me. People have always asked me for advice regarding child raising and homeschooling and whatnot. And I've always been reluctant to give advice, because I always think, well, that works for me, but I don't know if it's going to work for everybody. This is just kind of how I roll. But with Plexus, it's different. I know it works for me, and I know it's going to work for them. And I think that belief and excitement really comes through to them. Okay. Oh, don't worry about the no's. I had to get over that. Lynn, you have been great when you said no's. You don't take personally. It's just a season of their life. It doesn't have to do with me. So I love that advice that you shared on the chat thread. I still struggle with that because when I hear a no, I feel like they're saying no to me personally, when in actuality it's no because they don't have enough information, no because it's just not God's timing, and that's okay. It was no for me for a while, or no, it's just not personal, just timing. And I have had so many people join my team that were no's for a good solid 4 months. A no's like not even talking back and forth. So that's been super belief building and inspiring for me to know that no now doesn't mean no always. Also, diligence. Okay. So I post often and I post consistently, and I'm planting seeds all the time. So some people need to hear about things for 6 months before they're ready to jump on board. A big thing that I focus on is funneling people from my cold market into my warm market, because as I sign people from my warm market is continually shrinking. So I have to be actively at the same time taking people from my cold market and building relationships with them to funnel them into my warm market to keep that alive and a big pool of people. My posting on Facebook that I do, I've been really intentional about building a brand. I love Carissa Casey's video about marketing yourself. So, regarding homesteading, homeschooling, large family, I used to think that I was so out there, no one could relate to me. But I built that brand. I post about those things. People message me, people that I don't know, asking garden advice on babies, advice about nursing, advice about homeschooling. So it's a very short step to jump into asking advice about health. I do try to be active in a few Facebook groups. So I've had 3 or 4 people join my team that I did not know from anybody. They were just friends that I've added from small groups, homesteading groups or large family groups or whatever. I am very intentional about posting call to comment posts, asking for people's opinions, whether it's about cloth diapers and asking them what they suggest, or meal ideas, or praise and worship music ideas, anything to get them commenting. I spend a lot of time, I know it's not necessarily IPA, but I spend at least, I would say, 2 hours a day on Facebook, not scrolling, but commenting. So I discipline myself to not pass up any post without saying something. So I feel like I'm interacting with them a lot, even if I don't know them from Adam. They're seeing my post, and then we can start a conversation and start a relationship that way. So I very rarely scroll, but I do go on there a lot and comment on people's posts. Leadership. I've watched a lot of videos and try to lead by example and have my team just duplicate what I do. We have a chat thread going for all the runners on the team. I try to run weekly challenges for them, whether it's send me your why and your list of 64 that we're going to reach out to today, or let's keep each other accountable. Let's all reach out to 10 people a day. We have that chat thread just kind of for my small core group of people that are actively working the business. And when it comes to signing people up, I take your advice, Megan, which I was afraid to do in the beginning when you said, oh, just sign people up over the phone or you sign them up. I thought, nobody's going to give me that information. But I just act real matter of fact. Here's what I need. If you want to sign up, that would be great. Just send me this info and I'll get it all set up for you. So from January to now, I have signed every person up except for one. And that one got messed up. So I just real matter-of-factly just ask them for their information, sign them up. And that way I have their information if they need to call customer service or something, which oftentimes is a long wait or they don't really know what to ask and they have a hard time getting their issues resolved. I just do that for them. So I try to make their experience as pleasant as possible, especially for new ambassadors. I treat more like customers as in offering customer service and walking them through that and keeping their experience pleasant. So, you listening to me?
Yeah.
Oh, Plexus swag. My cup says this mama runs on Plexus. I wear my Plexus t-shirt out when I go. My little 4-year-old, whenever we're hanging out with friends, she's always like, are you on my mommy's Plexus team? And if they say no, she says, well, why not? So building a team culture for one team is huge, but building a Plexus culture in my family has been huge as well. You can see my girls are listening. Oftentimes, all my little kids are listening when I'm not talking. Jeremy's, like I said, the leader of our business. He's always coming up with ideas. We talk about it all the time. We brainstorm ideas. We talk about people we can reach out to and people we've run into that could use Plexus. So it's such a family culture. I don't feel like I'm sacrificing them, and I really feel like that keeps me inspired and motivated to keep moving forward. So that's about all I have to share. If anybody has questions or...
You can open up.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions for Molly? Someone was asking if all of those level ones were yours. All of those people you added were yours.
How come, dear, my computer's all weird?
Yeah, we can't see your face for some reason, but we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, Jeremy's coming to look at my computer. No. In January, I only signed 10 level ones, and the other 16 were from team members. And the same thing even less in February. I think I signed 7, but I assigned them to Jeremy and Mia because I'm building their teams as well. Mm-hmm. And then the other ones were from team members as well. We had a lot of people go silver, which was super exciting.
Yes, silvers are the lifeline of our business. So we definitely. So Molly, how do you chat with everyone about sharing when they start? How do you approach that with people?
Okay, can you still hear me? Even if you can. Okay. I don't really say, do you want to work the business or anything like that, but I do try to suggest, this is going to be awesome. It would be so great if you could grab a couple friends to do it with you. I'm not reinventing the wheel. It's the same verbiage you hear in every other video. Grab an accountability partner, or do you have a mom and a sister? Wouldn't that be fun? Or sometimes if I know them, I can think of people and I say, hey, why didn't you invite so-and-so to do this with you? I bet she would really love it. But as for posting on Facebook, I've never, maybe a few times I've suggested, hey, here's an idea for a first post. If you want me to help you word it, that would be great. But most of the time they just start doing it. And I think that's because they were drawn to the business and to Plexus because they saw my post. So it's just kind of natural for them. That's how they learned about it. And so for them, sharing is just kind of a natural extension of that. I don't have a lot of people battling fears, I don't think. They all seem super brave. They're just amazing to me.
That's awesome. We still can't see you, but that's okay. We can hear you.
Sorry.
Anyone else have any quick questions? You can unmute if you want to ask.
I'll switch with Katie.
Okay.
You can see her. She can see you.
Yeah, there we can see you.
Hey, there we go.
Hi, Katie.
Why don't you mute yours? Unmute mine? No, mute yours over there.
Do you want to ask?
Molly, I have a question.
Melody.
Can I ask a question, Molly?
Yeah.
Have her mute Molly. Turn that off, quick. Turn that mute. You have to have her mute this one first.
No, Molly can be.
I can't see the controls. Have Megan do it.
I can't tell her.
Megan, can you mute Molly's? And then she'll unmute Katie.
My voice gets so nervous. Why don't you message her?
I'm gonna try doing this.
Make sure you message her.
It wasn't your Zoom call, right?
No.
Huh. There. Did I do it? Mute all.
So what was your
Whoops.
Of course, now it works.
Melody? Did you have a question?
Yes. Melody did.
Melody does.
Hi. Yes. Thanks, Molly. I wanted to go back to what you were saying about when you sign up an ambassador and you take all their info and do it yourself. So are you saying that you're always talking with them on the phone or in person? Like when they're ready to sign up and then you're saying to them, okay, let me take your info? Or do you do that over Messenger? I'm just curious to kind of elaborate more on that if you don't mind.
Okay, I missed the first part of your question, but I will answer about the signing up, and then you can repeat the beginning if I don't answer it. I hardly ever talk on the phone. That's Yeah, that's another big fear I need to face. So mostly I'm messaging them, and then I just message them that graphic that says, here's what I need, and that has all the information. And then I just sign them up from my computer, and then I message them back their personal information and their account information and log on information and that. So does that
And
answer
then you said, yeah, and you said you keep that info so that if they have trouble down the road,
just
how
the
do you
login information? Yeah, not the credit card or that stuff. But
right. Okay, that was my next question. So just get rid of the credit card info, just keep like their username, password type thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've had people feel comfortable giving you their credit card then?
everybody that I've signed up since January, February, and March has. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
There, sorry. Okay, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say I had 3 people last month in whatever last month was, February. They're all starting to run in together already. So in February, I had 3 people sign up that didn't want to do it. They just gave me all their information. 2 of them I had never met before in my life. So one was from Texas, and another lady is from here in Illinois, but I've never met them. So they just said, here's all my information. Just order me what I need. And same thing. I didn't keep their credit card information. I got rid of that as soon as everything went through. I just kept login information, emailed that to them so they had the information, and I kept it on file myself. So I found that people are very trusting. Seem to be anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I Ashley's saying something. I'm surprised that most people want me to sign them up. So people are busy. They don't have like. I would rather say, hey, I want your products. Can you just do it for me? Because it's faster. They know how to work the system quicker. There's, it eliminates glitches. I don't have time to spend time on the phone, 3-way calling in a customer because they signed up wrong or signed up under the wrong person or didn't do it correctly. So I feel like it's an efficiency thing. It's a work smarter, not harder thing. And then I also am able to ask them when they're on the phone with me, when I'm signing them up, like, hey, so tell me what your thoughts are about sharing. Like, have you ever worked from home before? Have you ever done anything like this? It's a little bit scary for me to ask that question, but the reason I do is because I was highly intrigued in the business when I started Plexus, but I didn't breathe a word to Carrie. She's on here tonight painting her kitchen cabinets. So she's probably chuckling at me, but the fact that I didn't really tell her what my thoughts were held me back and also held her back. And so that's just something that I have in my mind. Like, people are kind of intrigued. And so why not ask them? Like, you get a clearer picture of maybe what they're wanting. And if they tell you, yeah, I'm actually really interested in the business, or I'm interested in getting my products covered, then that gives you an open door to be able to say, oh, okay, well, I'll plug you into stuff. I can help you do that this week. Like, you can go silver this week. And then sometimes people tell me, oh, I don't want to sell something, or, oh, I could never do that, or something. And usually I used to say, okay, no worries, you can be a closet ambassador. It's probably what I told Molly, just be a closet ambassador. But I realized that I need to push against that a little bit and just plant a seed and say, hey, I totally respect that, totally fine. But consider, you might start having people pop in your head as you start to take these products that could totally benefit from increased energy. Maybe people with autoimmune issues or diabetes or a lot of gut issues. Those people might start to pop in your brain, and feel free to reach out to them or to consider them. Those people aren't popping in your brain for by coincidence. I think it's for a reason, because these products really help a lot of people. And sometimes I'll plant the seed too that Plexus is meant to be shared, and you don't need the budget for it. You can easily get your own products covered. So, okay. Anyone else have quick questions for Molly? If not, we're going to turn it over to Sherry.
Hi, Molly. I have a question because I'm new at this. A lot of my friends that I've reached out to have the same question initially: is how much is it? And when they ask me about the cost, should I just be sharing my Plexus page for them to shop around and look at all the prices, or should I mention the business right away when do you start mentioning that your products can get paid for?
When a lot of people ask me that first too, well, how much does it cost? Or they will say, well, I can't afford that right off the bat. And I have found that I try to avoid talking prices until they have the education, especially if they say they can't afford it right off the bat. They don't even know what they're saying they can't afford to. They think it might be a weight loss pill or something like that. They don't understand the scope of healing that they could enjoy or that they might experience. So if they ask, well, how much is it? I say, well, you know what? I'll shoot you a price list, but let me talk to you, or let me tell you a little bit about the products first. Or I will say, I'll shoot you a price list, but what kind of health conditions are you dealing with, or what are your health goals? And then I will plug them into the learning page and tag them in some posts that are going to be relevant to them. I will say, you know, do you have time to watch a quick video if I would send that to you? And then I'll follow up and ask them about that. I really never sent anybody ever to my website to just look around. I will send them to the learning page and I will shoot them videos, and I avoid sending that price list until I'm fairly confident that they understand the scope of what we're talking about, the whole picture of the healing that they can enjoy. And then I will send them the price list and say, there's a couple different ways you can order. And remember, we talked about the triplex would be a great place for you to start. So here's the different pricing options on that. So as long as possible, as long as we can keep conversing without actually talking dollars, until they can understand. Because I think nobody understands. I didn't understand at the beginning either what I was budgeting for, what was possible. So
if I understand you correctly, instead of directing them to my page, I should be asking them, getting to know what kind of products they would be benefited from first, and like going over that.
Yes, exactly. What specific health concerns and goals they have, definitely plug them into the Learning Center OneTribe page, tagging them in those posts. Yeah.
Okay,
hey,
thank you very much.
Hey, Sherry, this is something that I say when people ask me that question, is that I always just tell them right up front, well, it really depends, because there are 3 different ways to purchase. And like Molly said, depending on what health issues you're looking to target, that will determine like the package that we can put together for you or help you with. So if you just let them know that right up front, there are different ways to purchase. So you can't really just throw out a price, because it would be totally confusing for them. And I agree with Molly too. I never just send people to my website. So hope that's helpful.
Thank you.
That was a great question, by the way. So a lot of times, there's 2 things. So when you're chatting with people, it is asking questions. So 2 questions that I ask a lot of times is, are you on any meds? And do you currently take any supplements? And what are your health goals? And usually from those 2 to 3 questions, you're able to get kind of a big scope of what people are dealing with. And then you can plug them into information. And then I do pre-qualify. So it's the same thing as Molly's saying and the same thing that Angie's saying. I a lot of times will say, hey, well, let's see what you qualify for first before I send over that price list. Because, you know, if you're just wanting to do the products for 2 months, you know, for what the money back guarantee covers, that's going to be a different price than if you do wholesale for 3 to 6 months. So do certain meds matter? I think it's important to find out if people are on antidepressants, because a lot of times people have trouble losing weight if they're on those meds. And sometimes there's side effects to meds. I just actually put a post out about Raynaud's syndrome, and that's a lot of times a side effect from certain medications. And Ryan Evans did that huge celiac testimony. She was Jessica Heffley's like hugest public skeptic ever, and Jessica gifted her with the triplex, and then she stopped having to go in for these, you know, infusions that she had to do monthly because her gut was not absorbing nutrients. She said that to first ask if they're on any meds, because a lot of times there's side effects. So if people are able to balance their bodies and then come down off of certain meds, other symptoms start to go away. I always like to ask if people are on meds, because it just helps me know. You just want to make sure if anyone's on thyroid meds, there's a file on the team page about thyroid meds. They need to space them out 2 to 4 hours. And then the other biggest thing is the antidepressants. That's important to know. And then anyone with heart issues, or if anyone's pregnant or nursing, they shouldn't be on boost or accelerator. Those two things, because they're thermogenics, they speed up the heart rate. So anyways, yes. Okay, so Angie was going to chat a little bit for a few minutes before we close out.
Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys about the Diamond Extravaganza. Did any of you listen to that last night? I can only see a few people, so I see lots of thumbs up. That's awesome. Okay, so I watched it last night. I was so encouraged, and I did what Jessica Heffley told us: invite 3 ambassadors, invite 3 potentials, that sort of thing. None of my potentials were on last night, and I'm kind of glad they weren't, because it was a little crazy trying to have to refresh your screen every time. But now that it's over, even if you watched it, what a great thing to go back and have that resource, because the way they have it listed is basically you just click on the link, you go right to that Facebook page. They have all 18 diamonds listed in order, and it's like hashtag number 1, number 2, all the way through. The best part about all of it is that they are 2 to 3 minute little snippets. And it's these great testimonies packed into 2 to 3 minutes. So it can easily keep your attention. You're getting great information, and everybody comes from kind of a different background. I was really intrigued by number 18, because she specifically said, I went for the business. We just don't get that most of the time in Plexus. It's the products. The products are what sell. And that is the core of our business. Don't get me wrong. But I loved her story, in that she was so desperate for money, and there are people out there who need the business so much more that they don't even care about the products. But once they see how amazing the products are, then they're just totally gung-ho. But when you're in, I would just add, or don't add people without asking them. Ask them first, send them the link, ask them if they're willing to watch it, because busy moms can hop on there and watch 2 to 3 of those in, quick 10 minutes. And then when they have 10 minutes more, they can go back in. There were just a lot of the stories I'd heard before. I'd heard their diamond documentaries, but when you go back and hear them now, all these years later, after some of them have been with Plexus for many years, like 4 or 5, I think there was one girl who'd been there like 5 or 6 years, and I was like, wow, it's just amazing to hear her story now, because she still is so passionate, loving the products, loving the business. And for me, and what I hear so much, are the relationships that are built through this business. I would just encourage all of you to, 1, make sure you listen, and 2, get those 3 to 5 potentials and add them. Ask them if they'd be willing to listen, because those testimonies, it encouraged me. And I've been doing this for 3 years, but I was all pumped up last night. It was late when I finished. I wanted to go invite more people right then. So I would just encourage you guys to do that, because it is well worth your time, and it'll be time well spent for any of your potentials. So I hope that's encouraging to you guys, and I'd love to hear your feedback after you guys listen to some of those.
Okay, thanks, Angie. That was awesome. So I'm getting some questions about medications and side effects and interactions with Plexus supplements. Just to kind of clear the air, there's nothing like dangerous in light of like mixing meds with Plexus and medications. But I always ask people, like, hey, if you're on any meds, you need to check with your pharmacist. That's just, as ambassadors, that's just what our like baseline recommendation needs to be. Hey, go check with your pharmacist. That's better than asking to check with their doctor, because a lot of times doctors don't even know the interactions of their own medications that they're telling patients to take at the same time. So check with a pharmacist. That's your best bet. And then just in light of, okay, probiotics, omegas, multivitamins, like those are not going to cause issues. The only thing is that sometimes the slim can make a medication ineffective if that's taken at the same time. So like a thyroid med taken at the same time as slim will make that thyroid med not as effective. So that's why they have to be spaced out. But anyone that's on thyroid meds hopefully knows to at least check with their pharmacist or check the medication requirements on that. Same with anyone else that's on like a heart medication or anything like that. So that's just our stance. In light of antidepressants, the only thing I would say is consider taking Vital Biome and consider taking Accelerator, because Accelerator actually has a natural mood enhancer, that 5-HTP. So just, you can go research that. You can check that out. And actually, we do have a post on the team page coming out by Amanda Hardy. She's a nurse and she's also on our team. And so she's going to have some of these detailed in a file for all of us so that we have that information. And Jan's working on that too, and so is Melody. So we have a couple of green, crunchy nutritionist nurse people on the team that are working on that. So verbiage about asking a pharmacist. So I just tell if I say, hey, are you on any meds? And they tell me yes, then I just say, hey, you need to go double check this with your pharmacist if you have any questions about whether it's safe for you. But
Can I?
Yeah, is someone talking? Sorry, I don't see who's unmuted.
This is Gretchen. I'm sorry, I don't have my camera.
Oh, hey, there you are. Okay.
Here I am. Yeah, no, here I really am. Oh, I just wanted to add something. Amy Booker, I don't think is on tonight. I looked, I didn't see her. But she had something very helpful for me about the whole pharmacist thing, because I felt like that was throwing up a block with people. I tell them, go check with your pharmacist, and then it was like, end of conversation. But she said what we'll do, we already know which ones need to be spaced, the thyroid meds, things like that. So what she says is something more along the lines of, these are natural, they're safe, this is, it's like food for your body. But if you have any concerns, you can run it past your pharmacist. That way, that's out, that's said, but it doesn't like cut off the conversation and end it right there. That was all I had.
No, yeah, that's good. Usually I only recommend that if someone's hesitant or they're really concerned. And then I'll just say, yeah, if you need that third-party validation for you, go check with your pharmacist. Because I already know that my grandpa's on a ton of different medications, and I called his pharmacist for him, and they approved everything. They're like, magnesium, oh yeah, you're fine. Probiotic, yep, that's fine. Slim, yep, I've already approved that for a ton of patients. So anyways, just to get that third party, sometimes we'll do that. Okay, All righty. Do you want to say anything else?
I just wanted to mention one thing that Molly said, and I think it's really good and it's worth repeating. And she said that her 2018 growth came from what she did back in October, November, December. And I think it's great that she recognizes that, and I think it's important that everybody pay very close attention to that. It's kind of like planting seeds. The harvest just doesn't come up right away. It never works that way. There's a time period in between the planting and the harvest, and that's usually the time of pulling weeds, at least it is here, and doing all the stuff that the kids don't even want to do. It's not the fun harvest stuff or the planting, but it's necessary to have a harvest. It's necessary to have that time period in between there. And that time period is just as important as the planting. It's just as important as the harvesting. So I think, we live in such a culture that gives up so easy. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to win at this, if we're going to win at Plexus or anything in life, we have to be willing to wait, and not just wait, but continue to work while waiting. Mm-hmm. And I think that's very important. Like I said, if we're going to win at this or anything in life, you have to be willing to continue to work and continue to go. And what you do today, you probably won't see the effects of what you do today for another 2 or 3 months. But you just have to keep going. You have to keep pulling weeds. The harvest is coming. You have to keep going and keep being diligent. So don't give up. Don't give up so easy just because the people you reached out to this month said no. I still almost 3 years later, I still have people that are contacting me saying, okay, I'll try it now. But, I'm like, now? Where have you been for like 3 years, Well, I've been watching you. I'm like, for 3 years? So, some harvest periods take a lot longer than others, apparently. So, don't give up.
Skeptical people.
Yeah, and so don't be so quick to give up just because you didn't have the month you wanted, or the seeds you planted this month didn't pop up and grow all of a sudden. Well, they don't for any of us. You just have to keep going. You have to keep keep going. So.
And can you give them a teaser?
Can I say something too? I know there's a lot of musicians on this team as well. And just like the daily practice, you don't see improvement every day. It just takes discipline. And so the skills that you're learning while you practice every single day, you do those reach outs every single day, they pay off. Just like at the end of the year recital, you can play that song and you've accomplished and learning new musical skills. You know, it's kind of the same. You just have to have that daily discipline to do those things when you don't see a lot of progress every day. But, you know, at the end, it's going to be a huge growth.
It's going to be a beautiful masterpiece. I think about that totally, like teaching a kid to read and teaching a kid to play the piano or violin. It's painstaking sometimes on those daily things, but I totally see that. Same with fitness. You can see that growth and that diligence and that consistency in other areas too. I totally agree. Trying to give a teaser for tomorrow?
Nope.
No?
I'm just going to add one thing on to what Molly just said. Can you hear me? Okay. With how corporate Plexus will give us these fantastic incentives, if you haven't been reaching out to people, it's hard to use those. Okay. So know that they continually bless us with these things, whether it's free shipping, free enrollments, whatever it is. They're continuously giving this, type of incentives. But if you have not, like Molly said, been planting those seeds, you don't just reach out to someone and say, hey, I've got this free code, because that's really salesy. However, if you've been reaching out to somebody, for 2 or 3 months, that might be the thing that would, make them feel like now is a good time. But yeah, so the daily consistency is just necessary.
Totally agree. Okay, well, Justin's not going to give you a teaser, but he has some topics he's going to cover tomorrow on the team page. So be sure to tune in because it's good stuff. All righty. Was there okay. All right. I think we're good. You guys have a great night. Thanks for popping on.
See you guys.
Bye. Very quick.